One life with the fellas.
One life with the fellas.
Ooh, one life with the fellas is about to come on, y'all.
Maybe it's me, maybe it's that, no. Maybe it did, maybe it white, maybe it black, no. Maybe it mid, I'm from the mud, I'm from the mud. I got it all from the grid, taking the rig, taking the rig, taking the rig. Maybe it's me, maybe it that, no. Maybe it did, maybe it white, maybe it black, no. Maybe it mid, I'm from the mud, I'm from the mud. I got it all from the grid, taking the rig, taking the rig, taking the rig.
One life with the fellas.
Yo,
What up? What up?
What's happening?
back once again. How everybody doing, man?
Tired.
Tired, man.
Tired.
Hey, I almost bust my butt trying to get back over in front of the screen. I was trying to get me a bottle of water.
Bro, I had to jump up and turn the TV off so it couldn't be seen.
Got these socks on. What is it? That would have been so covered on. What up? Maybe it's me. God dang. What nigga doing?
Get him out of there.
Hey, that
Hey,
would have been so for
I
real.
would have definitely laughed.
Yeah, I bet you. I
Hard.
would have been laughing with you. We would have had probably just going to end the show off of that. Wouldn't have nothing else to talk about. But yo, man, we back again, man. One life with the fellas. I guess like a little Thanksgiving edition, if you want to call it that, because this is a couple of days away. I know Nico would love to talk about the origins of Thanksgiving. We ain't gonna do that today, though.
Nah, man.
But today, man, we kind of trying to stick it on the whole mental health tip, man. As y'all know, we've had our last few episodes about that. We've had some guests on who have done a phenomenal job as far as helping us discuss the topics that we wanted to talk about with mental health. Tonight, we want to kind of deal with maybe a couple of stigmas, I guess, if you want to call it that, or things that are deemed to be thought to be true during this time frame, and just talk about, man, just like how depression and anxiety kind of increases or is just there during the holidays, man. This is a topic that I think we are really trying to have a lot more, especially in the Black community, because it's something that we don't want to talk about a lot. We don't want to acknowledge it. We don't even want to recognize it. We'll just shut up, put up, and keep fighting and pushing, and sometimes make matters a little bit worse. So I think as our guest we had last week, Ms. B speaks, like she said, as much as we possibly can, continue to push it forward, continue to talk about it. So, we want to try to continue that segment in tonight, man. But before we get into it, we're gonna try to touch on some things that's been going on in the news, man. Everybody saw the old Kyle Rittenhouse case. I mean, I don't know. I think for me, I think like we all kind of said earlier too, I wasn't really too surprised by the verdict. I saw D.L. Hughley said so, man. He was like, hey, when they cry, that's their ticket to get off.
That's it.
Hey.
He didn't even have to cry. In my opinion, he didn't have to cry.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah, he did. The judge hit him up.
I felt like the judge was like, let me get you right. Well, even before he went to trial, it was pretty much just for show. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted to appease the people, but they knew he was going to get off in the first place.
What you mean it was just for show, man? Why you think it was just for show? I mean, our legal system says we have to do these things, due process.
Because 2 people died and another one's paralyzed right now. So, like, something had to happen.
Yeah.
To show that our legal system is doing what it's supposed to do.
Right. And it's crazy how they turned this thing into, a case about taking their guns away. They're trying to take our freedom, our Second Amendment. Like, no, I got nothing to do with that. But like, the case was set up from the beginning when the judge, in the beginning of the case say that the people that were killed or harmed could not be called victims. They can be called looters, they can call rioters, they can call thugs, they can call whatever. But you cannot call them victims. That to me already, sways the jury one way, because I guess he felt like using the term victim would, show sympathy or give them sympathy for, or sympathy for those people. So you already knew what was going from day one.
Victims are not typically painted as bad people, right? So
It shouldn't be.
If you say I can call somebody a rioter, a looter, or anything but a victim, it's like I can paint you in any perspective or any light as something that's wrong, or just as long as I can't show you. So like you said, show you in the light to cause sympathy from a group of people, right? So when you think about somebody being a victim, right, you say, well, something happened to them that maybe should not have happened to them, right? So just taking that aspect away of just not allowing them to see that is it's kind of like you say, it's started from the jump, right?
But it's so interesting, man. Like, you got that case when you're talking about with the judge, and this is how critical, man. Like, we got to understand like the power that these people have in the positions that they're in. You got that judge in that case who put that out there on blast, but they can or can't be identified X, Y, and Z. You got the other case. I know, Nico, you don't want us to call it the Ahmaud Arbery case, but I mean,
go ahead, because you got to get the point across for people to know what we're talking about.
We know he's not on trial because this young man is not here with us anymore. But in that same case, you got the opposing attorney trying to make an argument to say we can't have these pastors in here, while we're trying to, go back and forth, without litigation and everything like that. And that judge was like, I didn't know anything about that person that was in here until you made mention of it. Created a whole nother narrative now for that case in itself, where it's like, all right, we got two crimes here that are taking place that were blatantly are what they are. And you have a judge over here who's talking about they can be identified as this. And you have a judge over here who's like, no, we're going to deal with the facts of what's at hand right now. You worry about the other nonsense you worry about something that's not even really a factor into what your job is supposed to be as far as defending your client right now. And so, like, to me, man, that's just crazy how, and I hope that we can encourage our people that's following us tonight. Like, when we follow these national cases, even if it's something that's local, man, y'all have to pay attention, man, to the parity, to that little fine line that's up under there in all these cases that's happening, man, because you'll see, the crazy thing is you'll see it so much. You'll see it on your timelines. You'll see it on social media. Every time you turn on the TV, every time you turn on your phone, you'll see it popping up, headlines. And if you focus on that one part instead of like taking that surface off and really look at the facts, man, you'll get brainwashed quick. And it won't even allow you to see just the real truth of the matter of the case that's at hand, man. And that's how a lot of times these folks, man, they get off. That's how these folks, they get very creative in manipulating the system in itself.
But
I don't think that they're manipulating the system.
I think they've already acknowledged the fact that
I'll tell you how.
That the justice system that we have is not perfect, right? It has flaws. The thing is are they doing anything to address those flaws in the justice system? No. I know for me, and I like to hear what you all think as well. I think for me, one of the biggest flaws in the justice system is you have imperfect people trying to make perfect decisions, right? Being on the subject of mental health and mental capacity in general is 9 times out of 10, when people are making those decisions or making those judgments or making these type calls, a lot of this comes from their mental capacity, right? Some of their experiences, some cases that they've done in the past. Because you can see how sometimes lawyers see, well, we kind of know this judge's tendencies, right? So how can you say I've developed tendencies in the fact to where he may rule on a certain thing this way, or he has delivered different political views or religious views that may take him to lean a certain way? So I think that's one of the biggest issues with what we have going on now.
I always say to that point right there, Bonnie, we talking about a justice system that was created that when we was equivalent, we were below dirt. You know what I'm saying? So you hit it on the head when you said, like, you know, of making an effort to change the justice system. Like when President Biden made his comment, like, boy, everybody went crazy. Like, you know, you actually supporting what happened and took place. So he had to come back and say, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying our justice system as it is set up to do blah, 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 blah. Man, bro, we tired of hearing that. We need some things in that justice system now that's going to provide the equality that we know we need to have, so we can feel comfortable when we step into these courtrooms. That, to my point I was talking about earlier, as far as manipulating it, I can manipulate it based on the point what Murray just said. Based on my experiences and my mental capacity of it, I can finesse this system to where it can get to my actual bias that I have, because I have this stronghold over it, and I can flip it however I want to. And because I know the media is going to follow me in that way, case closed.
I totally agree with you. I just also think that the justice system is working perfectly fine for the people it was intended to work for.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna pause, man. We can go ahead.
One more thing, Colin Kaepernick said that goes in with Murray said. You can't reform the U.S. justice system. It needs to be overthrown. Like, it's all messed up. Like, just start over, abolish all this and just start over.
Yeah.
We were 3/5 of a person at that point in time.
Yeah.
If I don't even think we were 3/5 at that point in time. We just.
I told you we below the dirt.
Yeah, just property.
There you go.
I'll go buy another one.
Right. So, yeah, but that, you know, but we all know that's something we hopefully can happen one day. We may be long dead and gone when it does, but that's relinquishing power that I know that I have, and I don't know too many people that's going to give up their authoritative power so free willingly until their hands are just completely tied behind their back. So, you know,
another thing before we start the show, another thing that Murray said, I just want to touch on this case, and then we can jump off of it. So you said the mental capacity of the judge, whatever, or whoever's in power. The New York case where the guy had four sexual assaults.
Yeah.
The judge literally said, I went home and I prayed about this, and I just feel that prison would do him no justice. So just forget about the sexual assaults that didn't do them women any justice. Or the little girl.
That he pled guilty to, right?
And he pled guilty.
Yeah,
he
pled guilty.
Right? Okay. See, and these are the narratives, man, that we have to, like,
Hey,
a
Nico,
lot of
did
us.
somebody check his bank account the next day?
Right.
It was in an offshore account, bro.
Right. But these are the narratives, man. Like, truth be told, bro, like, I'm glad that we're discussing these things, man, because I can guarantee there may have been somebody that's watching this show now, or maybe watch it later, or follows us. And even when you made the post about the case in New York, Nico, they probably know nothing about it. And that's a lot of our large problem, man. If it's not put in our face, you know, or if it's not put in our face enough, we don't think it bothers or even affect us. But these things affects us daily.
Yeah, normally I don't answer stories, and like if I post something on my story, somebody react to it, I won't answer it. When people reacted today, I answered every person that reacted to it.
Right.
Like, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's look it up.
Exactly. So but yeah, man, let's get into the topic of tonight. So like we said, we talked about depression and anxiety around the holidays. So I guess, man, you know, I'm gonna ask y'all this, man. Why do you think depression and anxiety, and let's be clear about when we're talking about holidays, because we know the calendar is full of holidays, right? You know, but we're talking about this specific holiday season, and Thanksgiving and Christmas. This is probably like the highlight of everybody's year when it comes to holidays. You know, of course, we know we got Valentine's Day, we got the 4th, even for our guys who is in the military, you know, we got the holidays for you guys and everything like that as well too. So, you know, but this here Thanksgiving and Christmas, this is like the cream of the crop here. Everybody goes overboard and try to, you know, in so many cases do the most, for lack of a better word, you know, and just try to fulfill whatever it is. A lot of traditions carry over during this time frame as well too. So with all that being said, man, why do you think depression and anxiety is something that is present during this specific holiday season.
If I may go first, fellas, let's start with what you just said. T. People try to do the most, and traditions start right there. Like maybe they don't have the means to do the most or do whatever they normally do, so that finance can cause some type of depression or anxiety when you know you robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you just really can't do that anymore. And then the tradition part, a lot of people are around families during the holidays, and some of that family may not be here anymore. So it's kind of puts a damper on the holiday season.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest key components, man. That those milestones, like that first or maybe second holiday where that individual isn't there. So I want to say this for my family anyway. This is the first. It'd be the first Christmas and Thanksgiving without my grandmother and one of my aunts who both passed away. Well, aunt passed away in May, and my grandma passed away last December, right before Christmas. So then, when you have that time frame too of when somebody passes right before that holiday, it makes it even worse. To think about that day coming around or that time coming around and their death. I think that adds on to it, man. It's hard to cope.
So let me ask this then. Nico, you had some or Bonnie? I'm sorry.
Honestly, that was the reason I didn't go home for Thanksgiving, because I didn't know how I was going to be with my family, and I didn't want to actually have to deal with the worst part of it if it went that far.
Yeah. Realizing that person you love ain't there no more.
Yeah,
Right.
That's tough.
Bonnie, you had something, man?
Yeah. So for me, it's it goes both ways, right? We tend to think about those people who do the most, but I'll be a little more sympathetic to those who can't do anything, right? They would like to do something for some of their loved one, but they don't have the means, right? They don't even have the means to mess up to do something, right? So I don't have the means to stretch to even try to do something for those that I love, even if they're intending to do something small. That's kind of like when you see a lot of organizations, a lot of groups of people getting together, trying to give back to their community, because there are a lot of people out there who are dealing with different situations that affect their mental, their mental health, with knowing that, hey, I would like to do certain things, but due to my circumstances, or due to whatever it is, I don't have those means to do that. So I do encourage people to if you have more than someone else, to always give back, because there's always someone out there who has less than you as well. So go to the Publix and buy a meal, man, and just take it to somebody, or just drop it off, because you never know how that may affect that person mentally, right? You may just uplift their spirits in a point in time when they're down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say, man, in that case though, there are a lot of resources out there to help people. I don't know if everyone is offered them or they know about them, but they're out there to the point of like going through school systems or whatnot. It's whether you want them or not, and you're gonna take the time to reach out. Because I know at one point, I was attending the Church of the Highlands back in my hometown here, and I remember some people would come there, man. They're like, I ain't doing this I want to do this. Because they ask you to show ID, or they ask you for something else, and they be like, I ain't going through all this trouble.
Yeah.
So some people just, man, accepting that pride or stepping down and
Yeah. To Murray's point,
but we talking about it all the time, though, Demerit. Just being afraid to ask for help. You know what I mean? I think it's looked down upon so bad in our community about, like, would you say having your hand out or looking for handouts, or man, if you need it, man, you got kids at home, you can't really afford to give your kids a good meal. Sometimes you got to put that pride or put yourself aside and think about those who need and depend on you. right, and just get the job done. I do think we need to communicate more because like you said, there are a lot of resources, there are a lot of programs, but sometimes people don't know because they don't have they don't get the access or they're not around the right people to tell them about certain things.
Yeah. I kind of like this. This comment. Actually, my wife Joy put up. Says marketing makes it worse around this time. There's tons of perfect family commercials and Hallmark movies where everyone finds love. It reminds people of how empty they feel. That that is so true, man. Like,
It's true.
hey, they blast those movies galore. You see all these kids getting all these toys, man, and like you said, Mary, a lot of people ain't able to do that. Even with some of the resources, it's kind of hard to get to.
So let me ask this: Devil's advocate.
There you
These
go.
perfect families that we're alluding to, right? Who are they targeting, and what families are being more stressed by watching these movies?
I know the answer you want me to give. I'm not gonna give it.
Give the answer.
They're targeting money.
Because we got to be real with this thing now. Because think about it: these perfect families, two-headed household, two working parents. If it's not two working parents, the dad is doing exceptionally well, and the mom can be at home and make sure the turkey is all glazed and pretty, and the ham is there with the pies and
I ain't
the
never seen a turkey look like one on TV.
I never seen one. I never seen one. Perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they got it slayed out, man. The kids got the matching PJs. They coming down with they got the perfect manners, all this jazz.
I don't think
like,
that's not who they marketing to. That's what they want everybody else to market.
Okay, well, who are the biggest spenders in this country? We are.
Us.
We spend the most money.
Well,
I think it's like what, 1.4
It's not that we spend the most money. I think we spend the most money on stuff that's not relevant.
So that's my point. That's my point. We're going to keep that economy going. So think about it in the context of what we're talking about this time of the year, right?
Yeah.
We got our kids watching these movies and shows. Oh, I love to see that. I want to do that. Yeah, can we do that, Mom and Daddy?
Hey, Santa Claus called COVID.
Hey, but also that kind of falls on a lot of us too now. But I'm tell you something else that dropped you around this time. iPhone would drop a product.
Absolutely.
Apple would drop a product around November, December.
Right.
iPhone.
So my point I'm going to is one of the statistics that I had that we had from the post that we made, and it was saying that holiday stress has a bigger impact on lower middle income individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at that, if we were to break it down in the demographics and everything specifically, I'm quite sure we probably make up the majority of that bracket. So that's why I asked the question.
Your question is, why is that, right?
Right.
It's because I think we talked about it when we talked about financial literacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the world has created the narrative or the notion that we should do X, Y, and Z for this holiday, right? When you say when you talk about what's portrayed on TV, we've talked about that as well, right? How the media and how television kind of controls what we see and what the expectations are for those, right? So when my child or when our children see, dang, they got 50 presents underneath the tree. Don't mean anything in those empty boxes, right? But when they come downstairs or when they come to look at their Christmas tree, and I only got 2-3 things up there, and really just not realizing, man, you may have 2-3 things, but that may be $500 worth of gifts right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so you go saying, well, I need more. Can I have more? I want more. So we get trained to just always want. Can I have? Give me. Then incorporate it with the parents, right? As parents, we just want to see, a smile on our child's face. We want them to be happy. We don't want them to be sad. We know the occasion, right? We know that, we're celebrating a certain type of occasion, and we don't want our kids to be had or have memories because next year, what they gonna reflect on? Well, last year's Christmas, what my expectations are for this year, right? So if they have disappointment coming from last year into this year, they may be like, well, I was really disappointed in last year, so I'm not really expecting anything this year.
But you know what, Bonnie man, I commend my Dukes for keeping me humble during this holiday season, because she made me realize or just appreciate whether that tree had that big bike and a few other boxes, or if it had a few gifts and Big Mama's tube socks wrapped in some Christmas wrapping paper. Like, bro, I was appreciative of whatever it is that I was able to get. And I think that, to your point, I think that's where we get so caught up in the marketing things, right? And what's been put in front, and we listen to our kid what they want and everything else. But is at the end of the day, is that it's about you just being appreciative and showing thanks of what you were able to receive. And if at the end of the day, if you was only able to receive 2 gifts and you had a list of 20, but you only got 2 off of that, and I know with mine, if they didn't get everything on that list and they want to sit here and smack their lips and all this other jazz, bro, I'm gonna take everything else back. You gotta get none of this then, because you're not even being appreciative of what's in front of you at the helm. Like, there's some people that's around here that don't have the opportunity to get anything. There's kids that have that what they do receive is coming from hand-me-downs from other folks, other families, and whatever it may be, and they are gracious for that. So, don't take for granted of the opportunities that you have. And I think that's something that we kind of get away from. And it does increase the stress and anxiety and depressions and things that we have sometimes us as parents, because we put so much in our mind to think that we got to keep that smile on my baby's face because I got to have this tree loaded with this many gifts. No, you don't.
Well, in fact, it's like you said, why does it affect the middle class so much, right? Because those who don't have it, they know. Like when you, like you said back then, you maybe knew maybe knew what moms could do, right? Moms knew what she could do, right? But nowadays, as you say, like in the middle class, middle class Americans or citizens have a lot of flexibility, right? Because if you don't have it, you also have the means to go borrow it, right? So you have borrowing and lending power, right? So if a bank sees that, hey, this is a middle class American, they make 50,000-60,000 miles a year, I can give them a loan, right? So you have means other than with somebody else who doesn't have capital or have resources to go get a loan to get certain things just to make bad decisions or make bad choices with money, I would say.
I'm gonna go to the other stat, man. I'll get y'all thoughts on this, since all of us are guys on this thing. This one dealing with the women. It says women are more likely than men to be negatively affected during the holiday season. Julius, do you agree with that?
Sure do. Hey, okay. So number one, it goes back to coming again when my wife would have put up loneliness. So I think a lot of people are probably expecting. Some women are expecting that engagement ring.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are expecting to, it's the holidays, so it's expecting to have the expectations are set high for these holidays. So it all boils down to what you do with your kids. Single parents out there. Again, going back to the financial thing. So yeah, I think it does affect women a lot more.
That was an inside joke, man.
Hey, yeah. Then a lot of men, I think a lot of men, man, are they're gonna provide money where they see fit, and the women gonna spend the cash. They probably do all the groundwork, for buying gifts for the most part.
Right.
So guys, pretty much, a lot of guys gonna be like, I ain't gonna stress this. Let my wife or my girlfriend handle it.
I see Nico faces saying that exactly. Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Christmas, what? What are you talking about?
There ain't even a Christmas tree going up in here. Like
Scrooge.
my coworker asked what I was doing for what I felt about Thanksgiving. I was like, it's another day. It's Thursday, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, it's off day, man.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
I need to get some order mac and cheese, Timo.
I know, right? Shit, all of us need to.
Mail order. Let's go.
Let's
Man,
go.
y'all could just pop up at the crib. If y'all came up here, I would cook. But other than that, I ain't cooking.
Man,
Exactly. See?
man, look at it. He did that for the public, man. You say he
Right.
did it like that, man? Yeah.
Yeah.
6
Gotta make
hours
sure
later.
everybody hear
Hey, now we gotta got they pull up, snap a picture. Hey, y'all,
Right.
here, pow.
Yeah.
Here we
I
go.
always gotta come down here, man. Y'all never come up here.
Hey, Mom, stay down here, man.
Nope, he's good where he is.
Yeah.
Nah.
Let's move on.
We don't
All
need
right,
to be in the same city.
the other step, man, I think we kind of hit it on the head already, man, with the stuff we've already kind of mentioned. You know, where it says 45% of Americans dread the holiday season. I think that's exactly what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we can elaborate on that anymore. I just don't know. That's just what it is.
There's people like Mr. Evans over there who feel like he got to spend some money. You know that man ain't spending no. Never mind. Keep going.
Hey.
It really is.
I can help it. Hey, I like seeing my kids happy, man. I try to do whatever I can, but I usually don't like to watch. My wife asked me, "Hey, how much can I spend?" All right, here you go, and I don't look. So.
Hey, I see a comment, man. I think that's pretty
a
good,
great
here,
comment.
man. Where it says maybe men learn to suppress disappointment during the holidays as a child, so maybe that's why you guys aren't affected as much as women during the holidays. That's interesting.
That's
I like
interesting.
that. I like that one. That may be true.
That's
At least
interesting.
Anyway.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I can see that.
I didn't suppress my disappointment, Ebony, with my mama when she didn't get me what I asked for.
You were
Yeah,
loud, right?
I feel
I
like
think I
she's
only
coming
had.
at me. No, I'm just joking.
I think I only had really one bad Christmas though, man. I mean, if you want to,
Right.
you know, if I'm going there with, you know, what I expected versus what I got.
Mhm.
I picked up the wrong toy. My aunt slapped me.
Hey.
That ain't yours. That's such and such. I'm like, but Santa brought this, so how you know?
Yeah, I've never
So
had
that was
that problem.
my only. That's probably my only bad Christmas, man. But other than that, I think I was very appreciative growing up as a child. You know, I really didn't care from there on what I got. As long as I got something. I mean, I remember a lady gave me a pack of paper. You know, my senior year in high school, gave me a pack of paper for Christmas.
A pack of paper?
Yeah, yep, college rule.
Come on, come on now. Hey, I'm about to say, if it wide rule, you know, you may be like, you know, your appreciation.
you know-
like, come on, bro, wide rule.
You take it and say thank you. You know, but I wasn't necessarily disappointed. I really wasn't expecting anything from that individual, but she gave it, and I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I take it. Maybe I can use it in college.
Yeah,
Did you use it?
No.
he gave it to me.
What's wrong with you? Man?
I just said it just in case if she's watching.
No, she's not. She's not.
Nah, I never really was like had to suppress any disappointments. My dad told me the budget. I picked stuff in that budget. He went and got it. No disappointment.
Yeah.
My mom either gave me the cash or she bought some clothes that, you know, I could pretty much wear. So that's what I expected.
I mean, I hear from us collectively, you know, it seems like we haven't really, you know, been disappointed during this season, whether it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatnot. But, you know, it's still not to take away from Ebony's point. I think she's, you know, and to the second point here, like she said, not all men, just maybe. A lot of boys start analyzing being fatherless around the holidays. So I was about to hit that part, you know what I'm saying? Like you have that absence that's there. You know, it can lead to a lot of things where you just gotta suck it up, keep going and keep pushing. And that does becomes a part of your identity. And when you become an adult, it's like, shoot, that door is not even open anymore. It's closed. So, you know, I just keep going with what I've been accustomed and used to. So definitely agree with what you're saying, Evan. And that's a great and interesting point. I haven't that hasn't been expressed to me to be thought to even think of it that way. So something to think about moving forward though. Great point. Want to kind of get back to a couple of questions we got, man. What we're talking about with family, and I heard, Nico and Demeric, y'all kind of touched on it, personally with y'all situation. So like, how can families help each other cope with losses during this time? Do y'all have? I'm not saying like y'all
Man,
got to have
I would say
y'all, but, you know.
letting people know what you're going through, and allowing them to be there for you. To me, that's a start, if nothing else. I know it's hard to do.
Verbalize it.
Yeah, and I know it's hard to do. And I can't remember who I talked to before, but just sitting in the house sometimes and just being by yourself all the time is really just putting you more into that dark hole. Sometimes you step out and get around somebody and let them know what's going on. Even if they don't say anything but hug you. Sometimes like that little stuff helps. So, I'm not a mental health expert, but for me, that's what helped me.
Man, I like being in my house. What's wrong with you?
I mean, it don't necessarily gotta be. I'm not even saying just like I'm saying like just step outside on the porch or what have you. I'm not saying like go out to other people's house, but allow people access. Don't shut down everybody from talking to you, but just give people access to you.
I think that's key, man. Making yourself accessible, man. I think that's extremely key. Making yourself accessible.
Let them know what's going on.
That I think what comes along with that, I think comes just being vulnerable, and I think we shun away from that because we're fearful of what that vulnerability may bring. But like you said, Demir, I think that's like the startup key or the startup kit to distraction. When you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable, you try to keep yourself in that secluded box, your comfort zone, and what works for me works for me. Like I like with my mom, like when we lost Big Mama, for the longest, when it came around holiday time or even her Big Mama's birthday, like Mama was shut down for like the whole week and sometimes that month. And her thing is, this is the way I cope. Y'all gotta let me be. This da 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 da. All right, we're gonna let you have that. But like I told her mom, but I said, Mom, I said, do Big Mama want you to do that though? Like, that's not even giving, really giving that commemoration back to her as far as who she was for not only for you, but for all of us in this family. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times that shuts down things as well too. You just trying to deal and cope with yourself, and then now you have it to where now our family, we're missing the centerpiece of ours during this holiday season and everything, or around Big Mama's birthday because you shutting the world off. So now it adds on another awkward where it's like we got to kind of try to get used to this thing and try to cope and move along accordingly, but it's still missing that absence. And it does makes it harder to move forward and cope with some things. So another comment here that says, I believe a lot of men have an issue with being vulnerable.
Very much so.
I don't think it's just men though. Honestly, I don't think it's just
people
men.
in general.
I think it's black people in general. Well, I ain't putting nobody in my business. Hey, what happening in the house stays in this house.
Hey, what did we say that last episode?
Right.
All right.
I think it's just the black family narrative, man. That's how we set up. No, man.
Huh?
Yeah. I wouldn't say after that one. It was like you pretty much hit it. Like
I don't know where to go after that, man. Go ahead, Nico.
I really do think that there could be with men. I would say I think maybe they may have opened up to somebody before, and then they used it against them at one point in time. So they get anxious when it's time to actually open up again.
Yeah,
I really would like to hear the reason why they said men believe that a lot of men have issue with being vulnerable. If you could respond to that, because like they came at you on that comment, so I just want to get you. There you go. Oh no, is that the same person?
No,
I think what it is, man, is if you think about when you were young, right, and people
go ahead, my bad.
How to be a man is more or less that men need to be strong, right? Whenever everybody around you is falling, you need to be able to keep your head together, meaning be strong for everyone else, right? You can be hurting, but in order to be strong for your family, you got to try to hold that in, hold your head up, be that centerpiece, right? Be that mortar, that rod for everybody to gravitate to and see that, just to see that, hey, I'm holding it together for everybody, so I'm just gonna stay strong. But at the end of the day, man, you can't hold that in. You know, whether you do that in private or you know whether you find an outlet somewhere else, you got to get it out, right? So you can't. In the past, where you know it's been taught to just hold that in, stay strong, be strong for your family. You know, just be that guy, right? Be that man, or you know, this is what a male's role, a male's purpose is.
Now I'll say to that, man, I want everybody to kind of make sure they understand also too. Like we do understand that it's not as simple as we putting it. We know it's a lot of factors that do go into how people handle and deal with losses during this time. You know, it could be their personal relationship that they have with their person. I saw somebody made a comment too, as far as like, you know, when mama and grandmama gone, shoot, that's it. The family just falls apart. And I've seen that quite a bit as well. Like I said, they talk and fuss about who did what when the loved ones were here and want credit for what they did. And that's why most families don't want to or participate in family gatherings. They say once mom and grandmama's gone, everything falls apart. And I really hate that, man, because it's like, is that, like I was talking about earlier, is that really paying homage to that centerpiece of your family? If everybody loved that person as they said they did and treasured them and they valued who they were for the family, they held the glue, then let's can we try to keep that legacy going?
So the part about that, especially like in my family, right? The part about that is that's where we met. So if that's where everybody went, then yeah, that's kind of hard, because when my grandmother passed, I'm not gonna say that we went there for Thanksgiving, but you know, we went to one house to eat, and then we went to grandma's house to kind of chillax, you know, and never, you know, talk or whatnot. So when she's not there, and nor is my aunt, who also lived with my grandma, when they're both gone, yeah, it's a different flavor going down there, man. It's hard to go there and not see them there.
Very true.
Right, I agree.
It's weird. No.
I'll say it's the same like with my family as well too, because Big Mama house was the center point for everything. You know what I'm saying? Every holiday, 4th of July, birthday parties, whatever it may be, like that was the place where everybody went and just had that great time. And like now, we ain't finna show and pull up down there because, like you said, it's not the same. But my thing is like, you know, even over the course of time when that centerpiece may be still missing, like how can we still? But even when Big Mama was here, you know, grandma was here, auntie and everything like that, when they were here, everybody came together still, you know what I'm saying? Just had to and enjoyed each other's company.
You just got to make a new location.
So my thing is on that same trail of just how can we pay homage, keep that legacy going in our own way? How can we still be able to get together as a family during these times and just enjoy each other's company?
I think one thing that we can do is you know, we always mourn the loss of others, man, but we've not created a culture of just celebrating life itself. You know what I mean? Like even just you know, coming together, like you say, man. Like yeah, let's go to Big Mama house or let's go to this place and man, let's just celebrate and reflect on the memories that we have with this person, right? So we don't have to come here and re-mourn the loss of an individual, man. We can come together and celebrate and appreciate the times that we all had, you know, here, some of the stories that we've told, laugh at some funny moments, you know what I mean? It's just, I think we should get or develop the culture of just celebrating those lost loved ones, man, on a regular basis. I see a lot of, don't get me wrong, I see people do it, right? You know, on like lost ones' birthdays, you know, they get together, they release the balloons, they, you know, where they make the shirts and everything. So it's happening. So I think that it is like a culture that we can develop, man, to try to get over some of those humps. Because you're never gonna forget the loss of a loved one, man. Especially like if that loved one had such a large impact on your life. You're not, man. But just celebrating and acknowledging them for what they've done while they were here, it goes a long way. You know what I mean? Well, like you say, paying homage to those individuals, man, who did so much for you.
And I think with that, what adds on to that too, man, like when you, like all of us have kids, right? See, when they see that from us doing it, that's that legacy. It keeps going. Like when they become adults and have their kids, they want to continue to have that same tradition that traditional part of this whole time of getting together and having fun and enjoying each other's company that can continue to leave on and go, and it's still paying homage and respect to what that grandparent or that mom did for you and what you're going to leave for your child and their child going to leave for theirs, and so forth and so forth and so forth. But I think I saw a couple comments, like you said, like Joy said, respecting and acknowledging their feelings. I think that goes back to Demeric's point about making yourself accessible. If once you do that, and everybody can do what Joy was saying there is too, then hey, it can get to that point of what Bonnie was saying as far as with that suggestion that he made. Another comment says sometimes being there for those suffering from depression is just reminding them that you're there, even if they choose to shut others out. That's true.
True.
True. Saw another comment, which I think is very interesting as well too. It says unwanted divorces contributes to depression as well. It's not a topic that you probably would think about, but when you put it out there in perspective, you're like, yeah, because that key word is unwanted. You know what I'm saying? That's the key word. It was unwanted, so that means something didn't go as planned. You may have missed the ball to try to get it back going or whatever it may be, and then hey, it's like now that hits to where now this is a time in your life where you're used to having maybe your family together at this time, and you're like, dang, I ain't got this now. We gotta split holidays. You know what I'm saying? And hope that don't bring up no arguments or whatever it may be. So I can definitely see that. That's a good point. Another comment: the rate of life is going these days. Life is too short. Celebrate the lives of those lost, but take time to make more memories with the ones left before another one is gone.
Yeah, man.
Hey, to Semi's point,
Boy, I
That's
love
that's
that.
a good one.
shit, let's go home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, treasure every moment that you're still breathing with the ones you love. And I kind of got a smack in the face with that. I would say over the last week with having a fraternity brother of mine to pass away. The cat was only 30 years old.
He's on how old? My bad.
30, only 30 years old. And he was a person, man, that kind of was a huge example of what we're talking about tonight on this show. When you're talking about, I'm not saying he dealt with depression, anxiety, anything, but he was one of those people I know he really carried the weight of others on his shoulders. And he was so much of a strong dude, strong-willed cat, you wouldn't even be able to tell it. And
At
so
some point in time, the strong people need somebody to lean on too, though.
exactly. And this would have been an interesting year for him and his brother, if he was still here, because they just lost their mom a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been exactly what we're talking about tonight, man. It would have been something like, dang, this staple that's been a part of my life is not here anymore. How can I push forward and get through? And so, I think tonight, man, ultimately at the end of the day, if we had to kind of conclude it and bring it to a nice big umbrella, put it in one bowl or something like that, I think Demeric's point what he made earlier of making yourself accessible. I think that's the first step in all of it. Whether you have lost someone, whether it's to the point of the comment that was made about an unwanted divorce or an unwanted or unforeseen situation, whatever it may be, deal with it as it is, right? Face it. But allow yourself to be accessible and vulnerable to those that love you, so they know how to be there for you. I think that's a hard part when you shut yourself off. Now you put us in a situation where we don't know how to be there.
Hey, like you said, even with mom, like mom said, just leave her alone, let her cope. And
Yeah.
if that's what she want to do,
Yeah,
you gotta respect it and back off.
yeah, and that's what we left her with. You know what I'm saying? And just excuse me, let her have her moment in time. And we know over time, she'll come back and being that person that we need her to be. I think that George said that as well too, just kind of respecting that person's situation and their feelings and acknowledging it and being patient. Everybody cope and deal with things differently, and so you can't expect people to handle things the way that you do. As long as you can keep those things at the forefront, man, I think it'll help people deal with the depressions and anxieties that may come around and hit during this holiday season. just kind of help yourself get through it in a manageable way where it doesn't do more damage.
Yeah, I like your comment about everybody deals with things differently, right? You just have to know when to step in. I know we've been getting like a lot of topics about mental health and helping people with depression. You also got to know when whatever mechanism they're using, when it's not working, and don't be afraid to say something. Like it's okay to give somebody space and respect where they're acting, but make sure you don't stop, right? Don't be like, well, I'm tired of checking on this person. They always down. They always do this during this time of year, because you never know if this year may be harder than the last one, but you didn't do what you would normally do, right? So just, man, be persistent, right? If your intent is to be there for somebody genuinely, you need to be there for somebody genuinely. So be that. If you're gonna play that role, man, and do it 100% and do it always, I would say that.
Anybody else, man? I think we get ready to kind of close this thing out for tonight.
One thing. I know we said amongst the divorces, and it's not the popular opinion, but blame me, don't blame the rest of the fellas. If you're in a relationship you don't want to be in, either that could cause depression, and like, just address it. Seriously. I know I joke a lot, but I'm being so serious because it happens
real.
a lot of.
That's real.
That in itself is unwanted.
Right, that's
That
real.
relationship
So
itself can be
what you're
unwanted.
saying is, if you look across the table at Thanksgiving dinner and you like, man, I really don't like that face, just get up and walk out.
Like,
I mean,
On the whole family. I know we at your
Yep.
mama house and everything, but I'm
Yep.
just
I'm out.
I'm
out.
be like,
Find yourself right.
I got a call. I'll be right back.
life,
Don't
life
return.
is too short for me to be sitting here and I'm not happy, so I'm about to go.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, don't listen to me all the time.
Listen to this man if you want awesome relationship advice. He's the one to go to.
Yeah, please follow his page for relationship advice.
Yes, we're gonna have a whole podcast on that, man. Let that
You're
man
all
be
weak.
great. I support you.
Before we get out of here though, another thing, Murray said it early in the post, right? I mean, early in the podcast, he was saying about helping people and knowing when to ask for help. If you find yourself in a position to give back and help somebody, don't take a picture with them people.
Oh, that burned
Like,
me
they're
up.
already at the lowest point in their life,
Oh,
and you want to take a picture and embarrass them more. Don't do that. Hence, like, yeah, I noticed every year I do the 2 turkey thing. You ain't seen nothing about it this year, right? Because, like, even with me broadcasting, I was doing it, I just felt dirty, like, that I'm trying to do it. Even though I don't know who needs help. I just went out and found help this time because, one, I went buying that many turkeys this year. Inflation, man. Price is going up. But nah, the first year I did it. Now, the first year that I did it, the woman wanted to take a picture with me, and I'm sitting here like, this just looks crazy. And then it just kept going, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna take a pic. And then one year I was like, comment below. Even that felt like, now I'm making you tell me what's wrong publicly. So then it went to inbox.
you made him comment below?
I was like, if you need help, tell me that you need help, like right here. And then like just drop a name or something. But then I was like, inbox me. Don't be. Then the last post I made was like, don't tell them people business. Just inbox me and tell them they need help.
Well, Nico, that was kind of interesting, man. That the lady actually wanted to take a picture with me.
She wanted to take a picture. The reason she wanted to take a picture with me, she was like, she wanted to let me to send the picture to my parents and let them know that they raised a nice young man. That was her
I wouldn't
word.
say that, but you know what I'm saying.
See,
You all right?
sometimes, man, like,
I mean, but I that's why I said
3
that
days
was
out the week.
interesting. That's why I said that was interesting, man, because for some, when you get help like that, you know what I'm saying, and I think that was in a situation like that. If the person wants to take the picture with you, I think that would have been fine and okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's letting people know, hey, that's a young black man out here that's good in spite of what you see, in spite of what you may hear or see in your neighborhood. Got a good guy, good people over here that's doing some good things.
Yeah, and
You
if she
know,
want to post it, let her post it.
yeah, and let her
do
go
that.
for there and run with it. You know what I'm saying?
It's different. It's different if you do it.
Yeah.
Really don't know if she
Well,
posted
but
it.
we get what you're saying though. That was
Definitely.
interesting though, that she actually wanted to take the picture with you and just like let people know it's a good dude. Now if your inbox and everything start jumping even more, hey man, you got them turkeys to this year? You know, can I? You know that you got to understand that comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying?
I have been asked that though.
It is what it is. So
they get ignored though. Like
yeah.
If you
Demaric,
really
you had
need
any closing remarks, Demaric?
Just a little bit, man. I go back to the, cherish your family, man. I know a lot of people are going to be seeing family members that they haven't, seen in a while or what have you. Cherish these moments. Not every moment you stop and take a picture. And I'm really not a big picture taker.
Say it.
I love my smile. I love my family. I love the people I'm around. But in the moment, man, a lot of times, I don't be mood to take all these pictures and but off of that though, enjoy the people around, cherish them, give them their roses while they're here, let them know you love them. I'm a very I like to give hugs. I like to tell people I love them, and just who I am. So make sure them people know why you're here, why they're here. That you appreciate everything they've done in your life, because without them, who are you really? So yeah, man, you let these people know and love on them.
Yeah, man. I think it's a good way to segue this thing out of here. Again, man, this is the holiday season. Let's kind of negate some of these statistics that we gave y'all. Especially if you are in the that middle income class, I would stress all of us parents to make sure we do our best in making our kids understand the appreciation of this season, and not putting so much stress on yourself and thinking that they're supposed to get every single thing they ask for when it does comes to Christmas. There's more to that. Maybe switch the gears. Maybe have your holiday season to where you're giving to the less fortunate, versus you having your hand receiving things. Because we all know, when you give to others, man, the blessings come back to you tenfold, especially when you do it when you're not looking for it, right? And so, like Demaric said, all of us made some great points tonight, man. With Simi's point about treasuring those that are here while you're here, giving them their flowers, their roses, man. Let's make sure we do that as best as we can. If you have lost a loved one during this time and this year, and they're not here with you, still love on them. They still watching you over you. They still got your back. They still sharing memories with you. You still sharing memories with them. It's just in a different way. And so however many ways that we can, let's continue to pass the legacy on of those that was there for you, that center of your family. So your family that you have can create and continue that legacy for years on when you pass away as well too. And so we hope everybody have a blessed, happy Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. I think we're gonna come back again before Christmas. We haven't really officially decided yet, but more than likely we probably will. So with all that being said, man, y'all to get y'all close to.
This is the winter finale.
Right.
This is the winter finale.
But you know what, I think we're gonna have to, man, because that'll close it out for 2021. That'll be episode 12. You know what I'm saying, for us, man. So we can go, don't have to be necessarily a long show, but just giving thanks to y'all, man, just rocking with us, dog. Just for this time being. We had a vision for this thing, but that was it. You know what I'm saying? It's going over pretty well, man. So and also too, I think it's giving us a time, man, just to where we can be able to still connect somewhat on a consistent basis, being that we all stay in different time frames or miles away from each other. So we appreciate the opportunity for that too as well, man. So we thank y'all. Like I told these fellas this morning, I appreciate and thank them, man. We love y'all. And have a happy holiday season. We'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. What you got, Bonnie?
No, I was gonna let Nico take us out, man.
Yeah, I was about to say take us out.
All right. Everything T just said, and just remember, anything never dies. Huh?
T did a good job.
T did a great job. But Just remember, energy never dies. So that loved one that you may be missing is still here in some form or fashion. That being said, I love you. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. Have a great day owning with purpose. Peace and blessings.
Peace.